Oh, jeez. Guess what? I forgot to equip most of my Digimon. Anyway, back on the subject of Naruto. Has anyone noticed that some characters barely get any screen time? Slash fights. This is the same fight from Dusk. Like, 10-10. She basically... What are the two fights she does? She fights Tamari, and loses, by the way. She fights her clone in Shippuden. I'm pretty sure this doesn't... You know what I should put on this video? That it has Naruto Shippuden spoilers. Then everyone's going to be like, what? How'd you get to there? Anyway. Not for the 10-10 thing, but probably for the Itachi thing. Because you can't expect everyone to read the same thing as you do. I guess that isn't too big of a spoiler, though, since I don't explain what I mean by that. If I went into every detail, then probably it would be, but... As I mentioned way long ago, I think it was somewhere in Dusk, people are way too overprotective about spoilers. And even if I give people a fair warning, they're still probably going to yell at me for having spoilers. Anyway, back to the subject I was actually at before I got into this whole big spoiler rant. Yeah, 10-10 barely gets any screen time. I know she's not an important character, but... basically every character in the show gets a bit more screen time than 10-10. Well, except for really minor characters that they only show, like, for one little scene or something. But they aren't main characters of the show, so I don't think it's really fair to compare 10-10 to every bit character. Excuse me. Anyway. And, what about, the other teams, like Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru, and Kaiba, Shino, and Hinata? I think Kaiba gets a lot of attention, but I'm not sure about Shino and Hinata so much. But most of their attention does come from filler, basically. Basically, for Naruto, after you've seen up to the point where Sasuke and Naruto fight at the one valley place, I forget its real name, you can basically just skip everything until, like, the final episode of Naruto, because most of it's filler. And most of the time, like in all things that have filler, actually, they don't reference any of the filler material outside of the filler episode, or little filler thing they're doing. Sometimes their filler does take up multiple episodes, but they don't reference it again. They don't randomly go out and say, "Hey, do you remember that one time where we had to get the treasure box from that one cave that no one remembers?" "Yeah, I remember that." And it's funny because there is an actual filler episode where they're trying to get some kind of treasure box. And you know one more thing I really hate about this Naruto story? They made basically a loophole for death. Like, because, going into more Shippuden spoilers, when Gaara gets captured and basically killed by the Akatsuki because once the draining process of the Jinchuruki is complete, I think I pronounced that right, it kills the person who they were draining it from. But then Chiyo can basically revive people with her medic skills, but it takes her life in the process. So if they train a lot of expendable people to be medics, they can basically revive anyone. And I'm pretty sure Orochimaru and them could have manipulated the dead, if I remember correctly. Death Cannon. Probably over Shadow Claw. Yeah, so having loopholes for death kind of makes you wonder that, like, if a main character dies, then they're probably gonna use some kind of way to bring them back. That's the kind of thing that makes their deaths seem so unpermanent. And if anyone has seen Naruto, I want you to help me to settle an argument if you really care about what I'm actually saying. My brother I suggested that Naruto would have been so dead if it wasn't for the demon fox within him, and my brother is like, no way. He would have lived because of his awesome ninja skills, with no real evidence to support it. So just for kicks, I would like to see what people think about this argument that I basically won, but he won't admit. And I want to see how many people actually believe that Naruto had the ability to get through every situation that he's been through without the Demon Fox's power. I basically won this argument because of the Haku battle and the one where, in the part where he's thrown off a cliff, but if anyone feels differently from me, I'd like to hear it and see if anyone else can try to explain his point, is basically what I'm saying. I guess I could see it somehow if you said that he doesn't need the Demon Fox in Shippuden because he had 3 years to train, and they even tried to seal the fox and suppress it for a while because They were worried that it would just get in the way if they tried to save Sasuke, but apparently the seal didn't hold very well, as you can probably see in the latest few Shippuden chapters. Again, there's a lot of Shippuden spoilers that I'm talking about because I just like to talk about Naruto. Call me a fanboy or a nerd if you want, but I just like to talk about series. I like to hear people's theories, too. But only if they're backed up by facts. Going to take a short pause here. Be right. That time I actually had to let my cat in, because whenever you